Good evening, everyone. This is Deanna Nichols, doTERRA Blue Diamond, and I'm here with our weekly event, Essential Oils Are Not Magic Beans. We are right at 9 o'clock Eastern, so just as soon as I start seeing that Facebook has notified people of our event, we'll just go ahead and start. Since we were right on time this week, we've got a few viewers already popping up. I would love for you to say hello and tell us that you're there. So we can see who's here and where you're from, like where you're tuning in from, like just city, state, whatever. Okay. So tonight we're going to talk a little bit about family wellness. Hello, Kelly. How are you? Kelly, you're from, I feel like you're from Michigan. Is that right? I'm trying to remember. So I'm a mom. I've been a mom for 3 years. And it really does change your life quite a bit. I had been using doTERRA essential oils before that. In fact, that is a large reason why I am a mom. But hey, Lynn from Delaware, and Patty's here from Shreveport. Yes, Michigan. I'm from Michigan also. So anyway, there's Linda from Kissimmee. And so doTERRA, I think it was, I want to say it was last convention. It might have been 2 years ago in September. They came out with these new oils called Touch, where it took some of the most commonly used oils and they pre-diluted them in roller bottles and added fractionated coconut oil. And they were advertising it as being like an oil kit for kids. And I was so confused by that. I was like, why do we need that? Because doTERRA oils, when you learn what they actually are, there's nothing like them on the market. There's nothing even close to them on the market. I want to say it's either 84 or 86% of our oils no one else can even have in the world. They're completely exclusive to us. And so I know 100%, hey Robin, it's so nice to see you. I know 100% sure that they're safe. I put undiluted oils on my baby when he was 10 minutes, actually his dad did, when he was about 10, 15 minutes old. And so I know they're totally safe as long as you don't use like a hot oil on an infant, like oregano. You put like oregano on their tummy or their face or something, it's going to burn. So obviously you would dilute that. And I was always just able to learn which ones were needed diluted and which ones didn't. And so I just didn't think it was necessary. A lot of people out there are really confused about the concept of dilution. There's a lot of hype about how, I mean, if you look up texts about essential oils, you'll see that they say it's something like 15 milliliters, which is how much can fit in this whole bottle. Like you're supposed to use this much coconut oil for 1 drop of essential oil on a child. Where in the world are you going to put that much liquid? I mean, you would have to cover them completely from head to toe for that to get on them. So, I mean, if you only used a little bit of that mixture, they would get no essential oil. And so if you actually study essential oils and you learn actually how they work, it's actually better to not dilute the essential oil if it's not a hot oil. So if you're using something like lavender, for example, lavender can be used neat, doTERRA lavender, okay? If you don't understand the difference, spend some time on source2u.com. It's a great website that explains the doTERRA difference. But if you have pure doTERRA lavender, you can put that right on your baby, just like it is, with no dilution. If you add a carrier oil to that, what you've then done is you've allowed the essential oil to kind of stay in the more top layers of skin. And so if you're dealing with something like a girl here in Knoxville the other day mentioned on Facebook that her little baby, who's like, I think around a year old, was having some chest congestion. And so what I told her to do is layer some oils on the baby's chest, and I gave her oils that can be used neat, like cardamom and melaleuca and frankincense. Those are really good to use on babies when they have chest congestion. Just kind of rub a little bit, however much you can fit onto the tip of your finger. Just rub that on. And the reason you don't want to use a carrier oil in that situation is you want those oils to go deep down into the body. You don't want them just sitting on the chest. Now, you would use a coconut oil if they have like a rash on their chest that you were trying to deal with, because you want it to stay on the outer layers. And so we don't dilute in order to have oil safety. We use less oil for oil safety, okay? So that's why when you're dealing with a small humans and large humans they're all humans, and you can use the doTERRA oil safely on all of them. If an oil's not safe to be used on a baby, it shouldn't be used on an adult either. If an oil, by the way, if an oil is not safe to be used internally, and it's an oil that you should be able to eat, like it's a food, I wouldn't be diffusing it and I wouldn't be putting it on my skin because it's still getting in your body. And so you have to question what is in here that they don't want me to eat. And so the point of the matter is that people are all human, and so when they're smaller, you just use less oil. And that's why a lot of times we'll use the foot as a guideline. So when you're a little kid, your foot's really small. And so when you take a roller and roll it down the foot, it's a shorter trip down the foot when it's a smaller foot, and then you therefore gets less oil. And so it is very simple. And when you actually join the Oil Shares team, we don't just sell oils here. That's not what we do. We empower families to know how to use the oils that they are purchasing for themselves. And we teach you about how to know which ones are need to be diluted and which ones don't. But let me tell you what happened though. When these touch rollers came out, I didn't think I was going to use them, and now that's like all I use on my kid. And it's because it is so easy. I didn't realize how much the word easy was going to be my lifeline as a mom. But it really is. And what I say is with these rollers, it's like stop, drop, and roll. And that's really what you do. I mean, when you've got a 3-year-old like mine that never, ever stops, you're lucky if you can just catch him on the run, just like whoosh, and roll something on him. And you don't have to care where you roll it at. As long as you got it on some skin and it's not an eyeball or something, and you got it on his skin, he's getting some benefits and it's getting in his body. And so it's super convenient. It's also super convenient to do the like mommy ninja thing when you're in the car. And I'm telling you, every mom knows what I'm going to say here. When you're driving and you hear your kid in the back seat, in the car seat, and you hear the coughing thing start, you're like, okay, I have 10 seconds and he's going to vomit. And then I'm going to have to burn the car seat, buy a new car, you know, throw his clothes away. He's going to be buck naked in the car seat, in the back seat with no car seat. We all know what that's like, right? And so the Digestin Touch has been a savior for me. Because I can seriously, like, I'm driving the car, I can go like this and roll it on his leg or anything I can reach, right behind me with the Digestin. So we don't go anywhere with our kid without the rollers. And so doTERRA has made a starter kit that is specifically for moms, and I love it. It's called Family Wellness. And so if you have kids, especially younger kids, I would say like under the age of 8, this is perfect for you, because you don't have to worry like, oh my gosh, do I need to, like, are you seriously going to have time to pull your car over off the highway, get a bottle of fractionated coconut oil, because we all carry that in our purse, right? Fractionated coconut oil out, get your bottle of Digestin out, mix them up, go in the back seat, put it on your kid. Meanwhile, stop, drop, and roll. Already done. It's done. And so I love these. It's super, super convenient. And so this kit that we're going to talk about tonight, this starter kit, not only does it give you a free wholesale membership to doTERRA, which is the way to go. I mean, gosh, you don't want to be buying oils retail from somebody and then they get all your goodies. That's crazy. So what you want to do is get your own starter kit, which gives you a free wholesale membership to doTERRA. And we have a bunch of starter kits, but this is just the one I'm going to focus on. And if you look at the posts from this past week, they've all pretty much been about this, and you can tell if the product that we talked about in our post, if it's from this kit, it'll say Family Wellness at the top, and then it'll say like number 1, number 2, number 3, and it'll number the products. And so you can tell if we're talking about this kit in my post. So look at the past week's post and you can learn a little bit more about this kit. But I'll talk a little bit about it now for the next like 20 minutes. So as a mom, it's really nice to be able to have some tools like on hand in your house that you know how to use, because you can buy them, but they don't like speak to you, and they don't just like give you some magical power by just like sitting there. So we have to teach you how to use them, and we want you to be prepared for mom-urgencies. Mom-urgencies is when that, like I just described, the one in the car, or it's also when your kid's like, Mom, you know, for, 20,000 times a day. Because they have a boo-boo foot or a knee or head or whatever, and you'll be ready and you'll know what to do with your oils, and that's the goal. Okay. So let me prepare you for mom emergencies or grandma emergencies, because we know those happen a lot too. So let's start with lavender, since we kind of mentioned it. Lavender doesn't really need to be diluted, but when it's diluted, and in the roller, it's just simple. Okay, it's super simple. And so this one is great if somebody's got a scrape or an insect bite. And I like it because I told you the coconut oil is good for skin stuff anyways, because you want it to kind of stay in the skin. And by the way, you get more essential oil in your body when you use a carrier oil. Let that sink in. So all the blogs that you read about how you needed 5,000 pounds of coconut oil per drop of oil, you're actually getting more essential oil in your body by doing that, just FYI. But that's neither here nor there. That was just some free information. So lavender, great. So you carry it with you. Your kid gets a scrape. We took our kid hiking the other day, and he literally made it 10 steps away from the car, and bam, fell, and absolutely blood was pouring down his leg. So we were so grateful that we had our oils. And so lavender is good for scrapes, and it also will help stop bleeding too. So that's a really good thing. And it's going to be super gentle. It's not going to burn because of the coconut oil, and you can literally put it right on. Another thing is for teething. You can rub it right along the jawline and then just kind of rub it in to your kid. And it's super, super simple. You don't have to worry about anything. So scrapes, cuts, bumps, bruises, minor headaches, or minor soreness of any kind, minor cuts, you can help stop the bleeding, and definitely for calming and sleep. So for a lot of kids, not mine, but for a lot of kids, lavender is very calming. Mine just doesn't work that way for him. He has, his brain works a little differently, and so we use different oils for him, and I'll tell you, we're going to talk about one of those that works really well for him in a second. But for most kids, lavender is really calming, and so you can take a little and rub it on the back of their neck. You can put a little bit on the outside of their ear. So with a roller, it's really simple. You can just kind of do this number on the outer part of the ear, and then give them a little ear rub right on that outer part of the ear. Hi, family members. Speaking of family wellness, here's my family. It's bedtime. Hi, Bubba.
Wow.
Can you say hi?
I think it just got sunburned by the light. Can we use some lavender and melaleuca?
Do you like lavender? Do you like oils?
It's full water.
What did you see? Oh, yeah, there's water. He's looking at my picture on my computer screen. Yep. I love you.
Say good night.
Night, night, Bubba.
Huggies.
Kissies.
Huggies.
Huggies. I don't know if I can give you a huggy with that arm. That's Mommy's boo-boo arm. Can we hug on this?
Wow, we gotta
Hug
hurry.
this way?
Mommy's
I love you.
video is being taken over by hugs.
Okay. It's bedtime, sorry. So we would not put lavender on our kid at bedtime. That would be a bad idea. But for most kids, it is very calming. So there's lots of uses for lavender. Super easy. Okay, another one that's really good that actually goes really well with lavender, and they're kind of like buddies, is melaleuca. Melaleuca is super great for skin. It's great for anything that's like fungal related, and so it also helps with bug bites as well. It's also insect repellent oil, and it's great for ear stuff. I don't know about you, but as a mom, I realize that ears and teeth like go together. Whenever somebody's having an ear issue, they're usually having a teething issue. If they're having a teething issue, they're probably having an ear issue, and it just like feeds into each other. And so what we started doing during his teething times is we started doing lavender and melaleuca behind his ears just at every diaper change. So we would just take it and do like a question mark pattern. So you see like how your ear's round like the top of the question mark. So around, so behind the ear and then along the jawline. Okay, and then you sort of just rub it in, and what you're doing is you're really helping things to drain, and melaleuca is really great for nerves too. So if there's like pain going on, it's very soothing. These two together are great soothing oils for skin, for ears, even for mood. I've found that melaleuca can be really calming. I've learned that if you kind of draw like an L, like straight down the neck and along the top of the shoulder, that can be really helpful during tantrums as well. And so those two oils are great. Those are like givens for any mom. You have to have those. My son has his own little oil bag, and it has all these oils in it. We don't go anywhere without them. He knows how to put them on himself. Of course, we supervise, of course. As a baby too, I didn't mention this, but as a baby, you know that our son never ever spit up except one time. And that was when we started supplementing some goat milk formula with breastfeeding, and he was just adjusting to it. He spit up the first time, but his whole rest of his life, he never, ever, ever once spit up. And I think part of the reason is because we started from day one just putting a little lavender on his belly every day, twice a day, and then also the digestive blend, or Digestin, which is also in this kit. And I think it just helped his digestive system to work better, and he just didn't have any of those problems. It was very cool. Digestin is really great, and you'll see on one of my graphics from last week on this page in the car. If you've got a kid, and by the way, I noticed that, you know, we're keeping kids rear facing a lot longer now. So you've got this like giant child that's rear facing. And when think about it, if you were rear facing in your car all the time, and especially we live in Tennessee and it's very curvy roads. Can you imagine like how easy it would be to get car sick? And so for the longest time when we first moved to Tennessee, every time my kid got in the car, he would vomit. My poor sweet husband, like he takes him in the morning and he would, he had to clean that car seat like with a fine tooth comb like 6 or 7 times before I finally was like, I feel like maybe it's because he's rear facing and he's getting car sick. And so Digestin is great for that. If you can think about it ahead of time and you have a kid that's prone to car sickness or you're going to be on a car trip, go ahead and put it on ahead of time. Don't wait until you hear the coming from your back seat. But if you do, you can seriously whip around and just get it on their skin. Everyone always is like, hey, where do you put it? Just put it, because the oils are smart and wise and they know where to go. And so if you mess up and put something in the wrong place or you use the wrong oil, it's still going to be better off. You're still going to be better off than you were before you had the oil on. And so, but Digestin is great for soothing any kind of upset stomach. Like if he comes to us and says, my tummy hurts, we can put this on and then he's up running around like a crazy person in like 2 minutes. It works fast. And by the way, this is what I carry. I carry this one because I have you see how fair I am, right? I have very sensitive skin, and the regular Digestin I cannot put on my belly to save myself. And so I use this if my belly's upset. I can put that on and I don't have to worry about it burning. There's some other super cool tips with this. If you've got somebody that's got clogged ears from swimming or even just sinus congestion or whatever, you can do the whole question mark thing with Digestin. It's really good at helping to move and break up junk in the ears too. And another thing, super secret tip, is if you take Digestin and put it like inside the navel, which I would only do that with the touch roller because otherwise it'll burn like fire. But if you put it in the navel, it really helps to break up sinus congestion in the head. I don't really understand why, but it works and it's really awesome. And that's another great tip for you. So Digestin's good for a lot of things. Diarrhea, constipation, gas, before you eat things that are, you know, more spicy than usual, or you're just eating out or eating at a restaurant. I don't know what I was thinking because I don't eat bread or like wheat or anything. And the other day I was at a restaurant and they had fried green tomatoes, and I just pictured like being a little kid and my mom making these beautiful fried green tomatoes. Well, I got this fried green tomatoes and there was like this much tomato in there and then like this much bread. And I ate a couple of them and I was like, oh, and so I felt so icky to my stomach. So glad I had my Digestin with me. And next time, won't be eating those. I should have known better, but I had like this nostalgia moment and didn't really match up to my experience. So it's good for adults and good for kids too. And yeah, and I think I saw somebody say, I think it was Kimberly, said on the cheeks to break up sinus congestion. And of course you would definitely want to be using the Digestin Touch if you're going to put it on your face because it will burn. It's very warm. Okay. Peppermint. I teach people all the time that peppermint is cooling. But for me, peppermint represents fire in my head because I'm so sensitive to peppermint. That's why I'm so sensitive to Digestin, because it has peppermint in it. And so when I put peppermint on, it just burns my skin. And when they came out with the Peppermint Touch, I was super happy because before we would always tell you, like, if you're sweaty and hot, like I went to Dollywood the other day and it was about 500 degrees out. I was sweating like a crazy lady. Or if you're just having night sweats or hot flashes or whatever reason why you're hot, they always tell you to put a little peppermint on the back of your neck. Well, I will end up with a sore on the back of my neck because I'm just so sensitive. That's probably not typical for the average person. But when you have the Peppermint Touch and you roll it on the back of your neck, it's amazing because you sweat, and as you sweat, it intensifies the peppermint, but not enough to burn your skin. It's super cooling and it doesn't irritate my skin because of the coconut oil. So I love this one. It's another one I carry with me. It's also good for like itchy bug bites because peppermint's cooling. It'll help to cool that down. Good for headaches. Just keep it away from your eyes because it's real, like, I don't want to say fumes, but I mean, yeah, the aromatic compounds are really strong. You don't want them near your eyes. So you could do like up here, you could do the back of your neck, the bone behind your ear. If you have a headache, peppermint's great. Maybe try a little lavender and peppermint together if you have a headache. I also will rub this on my shins before I walk, especially if I'm going to be walking like in a steep angle. I tend to get shin splints, and it really helps if I do that beforehand. It also keeps me cooler as I get heated up when I'm exercising. Great oil to have on hand for all kinds of reasons. See if anybody else had any suggestions. I love when you guys type in your suggestions too. The food nostalgia never matches our memories. Sometimes the negative ones though, like as a kid, my parents didn't really let us eat candy very much. Thank God for that. I can't imagine what would have happened to me if I did eat candy. I was not in very good health as it was. But my mom and dad didn't really let us eat candy. And then we would go to our grandparents' house and they always had candy all over the place. And my grandmother had this bag of, what do you call those things? Jordan almonds, you know, like the candy coated thing. And my brother and I went behind her house and ate the entire bag. And then we just vomited different colored, you know how they're all different colors, like pastel. We had like pastel vomit all over. I'll never forget. So like I can't even look at a Jordan almond. So sometimes it works in your favor. Other times it doesn't. I know that wasn't a very heartwarming story. I've had some stomach issues for a few days and it's worked well for me by mouth with some water and over my tummy. Yeah, so if you have the dripping bottle, this kind of bottle, you can put it under your tongue. It's a little strong for a lot of people. Or you can put it in a little shot glass of water and just chug it, which is probably a little easier to do. Frankincense. Love frankincense. My son gets frankincense every single day. And so a great place to put frankincense is on the top of the head. It just really helps with your connection to your Father, your connection to God. Great for the brain and also the back of the neck, like that little V area. Now my dog's coming in to greet us. Oh, my soul. That little kind of V area where your hairline is a great place to put oils for brain support, hormone support, sleep support. It's an oil that we put on our son, like it was the first oil that we put on our son when he was born, to welcome him into the world, to help with his neurological health. And sometimes we threaten to ban him from frankincense because he's just too stinking smart sometimes. And the things that come out of his mouth, we're just like, how do you know that information? You should not know that. So anyway, frankincense is another great one, and it is really good for skin. The fact that, especially that it is in this pre-diluted roller bottle, really helps because you want to keep that. If you have a skin issue, you want to use coconut oil for the skin. And so this is great if you have like any kind of breakouts on your face. Just really helps to reduce the appearance of scar tissue and wrinkles and things like that, age spots. Fantastic oil. Yes, Kimberly, absolutely. Wonderful for the entire endocrine system, anything hormone related, because of how it helps the brain to stay healthy. So just a lot of great uses for that. Oh, I can't not mention this. So kids, if you have kids, they're going to fall down and they're going to have bumps and bruises. And so if you can get frankincense on their bumps and bruises right away, like as soon as it happens. My son knows now, like he falls down a lot because he does a lot of crazy stuff. Like he purposely runs into the wall. He has this roller coaster that, you know, it's an indoor like home roller coaster for kids. And that's got a little car with this big ramp. And he purposely turns the ramp so that he will end up running into the wall. Like, I don't understand. So of course he gets hurt a lot, but usually we know it's not a big deal unless he says, "Ols, ols." If he says ols, then we know that it's bad and it really hurts. And he goes over to the oil shelf and he'll pick out the oil that he wants because he knows which ones are, which work. So if anybody of any size, human, if they hit their head and their head is involved in any way, you want to get frankincense on it ASAP and you want to do it frequently. There's no sense in waiting. Of course, if it's serious, you're probably going to go and get emergency help, but there's no sense in waiting until after you get medical care to do what you already have. Go ahead and put it on. My son fell, I don't know, probably, it's been a while ago now, maybe a year and a half ago, and he had like a vein sticking straight out of his head, like Worf from Star Trek, you know, scared the fire out of me. It looked really bad. And of course, everything I looked up online said that he had like split his skull open, you know. You should never look things up online, I guess. And I was scared. And I started putting frankincense and geranium, which is not in this kit, but Frank and Jerry, I like to use them together. And I started putting that on, and my husband took him to the ER, and he was putting it on the whole time while he was waiting to be seen. And by the time the doctor got there, she was like, "Why did you bring him in?" And he showed her a picture on our phone because I had sent John a picture. "This is what just happened. What do I do?" And he showed her the picture and she was like, "Holy smokes, like how does it look that much better?" And he told her about the oils. And so frankincense all the time, you're going to use that for head injuries, but also any other bumps. If they hit something really hard, it's got a big lump, they come to you crying, put some frankincense on it, some lavender on it. You can also use Deep Blue. Deep Blue is for pain, and I love this one for me as well, not just for little kids, because again, it's already diluted. And so this one is too strong for me to use on a lot of places on my body without dilution. because of the peppermint that's in it. And so it's perfect for kids. So you can use it for teething, you can use it for bruises, you can use it for headaches, menstrual cramps, lots of reasons to have it in the roller, so you don't have to worry about having to have a carrier oil with you. It's already built in and it's in a roller, so super great. The other roller is On Guard, and this one is, it makes sense to me that this one's diluted because this one is a little warm. It's got cinnamon and clove in it. I have used straight On Guard on little kids' feet a lot. The only concern I have with babies is, you know, they can like put their foot up over their head and everything else. So sometimes they put their feet in weird places, and it could be uncomfortable if they get the oil transferred. So if I'm doing little kids oils, I usually will put socks on. I put it on their feet and then put socks on. You don't have to worry as much because this is diluted for you already. This is really good for bites and stings. It takes down the sting right away, and it starts to draw things out, draws out things like splinters, because of the On Guard. Also, this is good for sore throats. You can put it, and also Melaleuca is too. You can like roll it right here on the throat when the throat's sore. You don't have to put anything inside. So as an adult, if I have a sore throat, I'm going to take On Guard, Melaleuca, and lemon, and I'm going to put it in a shot glass and gargle and swallow and gargle and swallow. But you can't do this with a baby or like a 2-year-old. And so what you do for them is you just can take this roller and you can roll it on the outside of their throat. And guess what? The oil is going to go where it needs to go, and it's not going to burn because it's already diluted for you, so you don't have to worry about that. Okay? So this is just a really convenient way to use it. Now, of course, if somebody is not feeling well and they are coming down with something, use On Guard. You can roll it up the spine. To me, that's the best way to get your immune system kind of engaged and fighting whatever it is. So if this is your spine, this is like the base of your spine, right above your rear end, and then this is like the top of your head. So you would just take your roller and you would roll it up, and then just kind of rub it up the spine. Okay? And it's great if you can do Melaleuca and On Guard up the spine if somebody's coming down with something. I would do that every like 3 or 4 hours, and it is really good for helping the immune system to really engage. So those are kind of like basic oils that are in there, and then in this kit they've also included 2 emotional rollers, which I love that they did that because this is mostly like a family type kit. So cheer is when your kids are grumpy. You've got a grumpy, whiny butt little toddler in your house, or a mom that's just grumpy because she didn't get enough sleep. That's usually the case. And cheer is wonderful. I like hold it underneath their nose, let them breathe it in. And then a lot of times if they're in their car seat, I'll rub it right on the little, the harness. I'll just rub it right on there. And so they're breathing it in while they're in their car seat. You can rub a little on their blanket. This one you want to be careful not to put on their skin somewhere where they're going to be exposed to the sun, because anything that has citrus oils in it can cause sun sensitivity. So this has wild orange in it. You want to be careful. So I'm careful where I roll it. Another place you can roll this is on the tummy, like right above the belly button area. And that's just a good place in the body, but you do want them to smell it. So put it somewhere where they can smell it, where you can smell it. And it's really great for uplifting the mood. And then peace. Peace is wonderful for helping everybody to kind of stay calm and to communicate more calmly and nicely. My son has sensory processing disorder, and so he really struggled with speech for a long time. He was nonverbal pretty much. And we learned that this oil is really good for the throat. And so we started applying it to him just every day, twice a day. And we realized that he was able to start communicating better in a very short amount of time, and started really expanding his vocabulary, feeling like he was more calm. Because can you imagine, like, you know, your brain has developed and you know all the things that you want to say and do, but you can't communicate. So it was like opening up the energy there for him to be able to communicate better with us. And then for me, I put it on my throat too, especially before I'm going to speak. I want to make sure that I'm speaking clearly but peacefully at the same time. And so this is just an oil that helps to kind of keep things calm around our house. And so we all use this every day. Yeah, On Guard has wild orange in it, which makes it sun sensitive, but if you're eating the oil by mouth, it's not going to make you sun sensitive. So if you had a reaction or something, it wasn't because of the On Guard. There's a couple things in this kit that are not oils. One is a children's chewable vitamin, and let's face it, kids are super picky. you know, most people's kids have like 3 foods that they want to eat and that's it. And so we know they're not getting balanced nutrition all the time as much as we want them to. And so this cute little smiley face, I don't know if you can see that. There's a cute little smiley face on here. It's really yummy. You just kind of chew it. If you have a small kid, you can break it into like 3 or 4 pieces. And don't tell your kids it's a vitamin, you guys. I mean, hello. Just say like, hey, if you finish this, you can get a treat. And if they think it's a treat, they're not going to fight you on it. It's just psychology 101. But it tastes good. It's like a natural watermelon flavor. And this is not some gross sugar-filled, artificial flavor, artificial color-filled thing. This has got, sorry, this has got legit vitamins in it. And it has a special cognitive blend for their brain. That is so, so important. There's a lot of studies out there that show that a lot of children's brains are really starved of nutrients, which is why they act out so much now. And probably because they spend a lot of screen time that they didn't spend, you know, even 10 years ago. And so the blend in here that is for the brain is so important. And so even little kids, if they can chew up a little piece of one, can still take this. My favorite product. PB Assist Junior. Comes in a box. It's in these little packets. And honestly, if your kid likes the taste of Pixie Stix, they're going to love these because it's exactly what they taste like. There's no sugar in here. It's a probiotic. And you don't have to refrigerate it because it already contains prebiotics, so it's going to stay alive in here. And I hope you know that most probiotics will die before they get to where they need to go. We have a special patented coating on here that prevents that from happening. These are wonderful and everybody loves them. In fact, most people have to hide them from their kids because they think they are candy. Yet there's nothing artificial in here. You want these in your life. As an adult, I actually take one every night because we have an adult probiotic, but it has different strains of probiotics in it than this one does. And it's good for your body to have a variety of probiotics. So I take the adult one in the morning and I take this one at night. Your kids will love you if they get to have that. The last thing that's in here is totally for mom. It's the Lifelong Vitality Pack. This one is the vegan one, and it was not supposed to be the vegan one. The vegan one doesn't come in here, but they sent me the wrong one. However, there's still 3 bottles in here. There's one that has essential oils and fish oils. There's one for cellular health. And then this is all of your vitamins and minerals and things that you're not getting from your diet. And this is our #1 best-selling product because it helps people with their energy. It helps people to be less sore and like achy joints and stuff like that. Sleeping better, helps to balance hormones. It helps you to have better, healthier cravings for food. I promise you, like, if you will take it, it has a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you use the whole thing and don't like it, you can get your money back anyway. But nobody does that because it's great. And if you stop taking it for 2 or 3 days, you'll realize, wow, my body is really performing so much better. And that's how I usually remember I haven't taken it, is I forget for 2 days and I'm like, no. I wake up all night long when I don't take it. I just sleep so much better and feel so much better. So all of this is in this family wellness kit. I'm going to post a link so you can go look at it. What you want to do is you want to choose a kit. It doesn't have to be this one. This is just the one I'm talking about. If you go back and look at some of our past videos, we talk about different kits. I'm going to post a link in the title of the video when I'm done so you can look at all the kits. Choose your starter kit. That way you can get a free membership to doTERRA. And then talk to the person who invited you to come watch the video. If you're just like somebody who likes my page because you like our page, then you can send the page a message. There's a way to message me. And I can send you some more information about all the benefits and all the promos that are available to you if you sign up as a wholesale customer with me. But if somebody else invited you, go back and talk to them. Ask them what their promos are that they're running, what they're giving away to their new members. And then get set up with them. They'll help you set up your first order and help you figure out which kit that you need for your family. And the best part is that you'll be plugged in to a community of people, a network of people all over the world that are just like you, that are trying to learn and trying to do better for their family, trying to be prepared for mom emergencies, and just trying to have a wellness lifestyle. And I think that, I mean, our products are amazing. There's a reason why we're the #1 essential oil company in the world. But our community that we create here at Oil Shares is fantastic. So you will not just want to buy products, you want to join a community and have all of these people that can help support you. So if you have questions, contact me or contact the person that invited you to watch the video, because they're going to be the best one to help you get started. Thank you for being here. We'll be back here next Sunday, 9 o'clock Eastern time. Have a great night, y'all.